Okay, perfect. We are officially recording. So today, the whole time we've been talking about the iron shirt, putting on our iron shirt. And the previous two classes, we've talked about a lot of background and foundational information. Today is all about embracing the tree. That's it, embracing the tree. All that foundational information we covered, now we're gonna put it to use. So I hope you're in a place where you have a little bit of room where you can feel it and get in the posture a little bit so you can feel it and feel that energy flow and get an idea of what the ultimate goal of this is. And with that being said, we're going to do a little bit of recap, see where everyone is and see how well we did on retention and where we're going today. Okay, who wants to start us off first on our previous days, what we've done?
The reverse breathing and the packing.
Okay, yep, that was day 2, reverse breathing and packing. Anything else?
We learned about the 2 main channels, the functional and the governal channels.
Yeah. Well, any more information or background on those? We saying some nice round terms on with the breathing and the channels. Go ahead, Emerson.
Yeah, so it's really 8 channels, but those 2 main channels feed the 12 meridians that go throughout our bodies.
Perfect. Anybody else? So we talked about the 2 channels, which make up the microcosmic orbit. Those 2 channels. Anyone else?
Peace. We talked about Qi force. And since I talked about it before, we definitely talked about the subtle energy or the subtle force, and how being subtle means that it's slight, and it can be difficult to detect, and it takes time, effort, and energy to develop a relationship with this energy. We talked about the subtle force of the earth, nature, and the universe, heaven Qi, earth Qi, and the 3 different types of man Qi, which are nature, plants, and animals. You also went over the definition of Gong, Qi, so the Qi Gong part of it. And you spoke on skill, Gong meaning skill to gather discipline and energy and time. And in the art of Qi Gong, Gong also means supreme skill.
Instructor, can we clarify nature, animal, and plant? The 3 types of man Qi?
Yep, nature, plant, and animal. Yep. So we calling it, consider that this is translated from Chinese.
Okay. So
when they say man Qi, this is my theory, is that it's just far reaching, meaning all of the living Qi on this plane, on the earth Qi.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So that's my theory there. Nothing I read said that explicitly, but those were the 3 types, and under man Qi were nature, plant, as well as animal. Because we all have, all those things have Qi fields.
Okay, copy.
Yeah.
We talked about while we practice Qi Gong about preparing the body for its spiritual work, about how we aim to take the immortal fetus and let it grow into a fully spiritual, mature being, and how our bodies have to be in the right position for that to happen. And appropriate breathing helps to assist us with that. And when we're practicing Qi Gong and certain breathing techniques, it helps to fill our bodies with Qi It helps us to wrap our organs with Qi and fortify our organs as well. And we also talked about the different techniques of breathing. Oh, we talked about pressure.
Yes, huge, huge, huge. How powerful pressure is. Qi pressure, to be specific. Yes. Anyone else? With all that information, all that background information is going to get put to use today. So I want to make sure everyone is on the same page. If you have questions, please ask them. I was about to say this shouldn't be very long, but I'm a strike that from the record. You know how these go. But again, just making sure everyone has a good foundation of Qi, the Qi path, the what Qi means, what it literally is. The breathing, we talked about abdominal breathing, we talked about reverse breathing and packing. So important. We talked about structure and the importance of structure, because that's where we're going to start off today. When we talk about embracing the tree, our ultimate goal of embracing the tree in the microcosmic orbit is for that Qi circulation to be automatic. Just like anything else you do, you practice it enough and it's just automatic. I know Instructor Aku always talks about it's automatic that his tongue is on the roof of his mouth, completing that circuit, that microcosmic orbit circuit. Always, he's practices so much that it's automatic. So we want to get to that point in these exercises. That's why today is all about practice, understanding the practice. Previous days were about building up that foundation of understanding of why we do it and the benefits. Now let's put it to work and see what we can do with it. Okay, so we're talking about embracing the tree. So number one on the foundation of embracing the tree is the horse stance. It's almost like our set position. Literally feet waist width apart. So unlike our set position where we go a little wider, feet waist width apart. I mean, I'm sorry, I said waist, shoulder width apart. From the shoulder width, we need to have our feet parallel to each other and directly straight. So we're not out, and it really talks about having them in slightly with the toes in and the heels slightly out, keeping the inside edge of our feet straight. So our feet are not perfectly square. So when you turn them in a little bit, that should align the internal inside edges of those of your feet to make them parallel. Okay. From the horse stance, what is the horse stance about? It's about connecting with earth. Something else we missed. We talked about that rooting concept. So that's what the horse stance is all about, is making sure we're rooted. Why? Can somebody answer that for me? Why do we need to be rooted? What are the benefits of rooting? So important.
So that when you're rooting, you're able to draw up ultimate Qi from the earth.
Good, good. Anyone else?
Right, the energy, and to me the root is like the foundation. If it's strong, then the rest of it will be strong.
Absolutely. We building on something. So anyone else?
If you stand up straight while you're meditating, potentially you could pass out. So that's what you bend your knees and root yourself for.
Yeah, if you go hardcore enough, yeah. Yep.
Not necessarily even pass out, you could just like tip over. But
okay.
yeah.
Yep. Exactly, all of that. So for one, we gotta have a foundation. Like I think that was Teresa who talked about foundation. We have to have a foundation to build upon, because our ultimate goal is, let me actually go back so I can read the exact quote from day one, where we talked about, no, I have it here in my notes. Okay, the goal of the universal Tao system is to keep our bodies in good condition on the physical plane in order to build and store Qi energy for the use at a higher level of the spiritual plane. The aim of the human spirit in the spiritual plane is to develop the immortal fetus. This is accomplished in 2 stages. The first stage is concerned with overcoming reincarnation. The second and final stage concerns with educating the immortal fetus towards becoming a full-grown immortal spirit. Again, that's a lot of words to say, like, we are developing spiritually. We are graduating from this physical plane to the spiritual plane. And once we get to that plane, we're even evolving that spirit even further. So again, a powerful proposition. That's where we're going. And all that is built on our feet and our foundation, our connection with the earth. Because like Salama said, there's a relationship between our energy and the earth energy. And that connection is through our feet, through our rooting, more specifically. I said feet, but I like rooting better, through our rooting. And I want to emphasize the idea of a relationship. You know, we draw on energy from an infinite source, from the earth energy, and from, I'll call it the cosmic energy. And we are the intermixing of that. We are the yin and yang of that, where they meet, if that makes sense. So let me know if anyone has any questions.
That makes perfect sense.
Perfect. So now
what's
going back
crazy?
to I'm sorry, say again.
I was gonna say what's crazy is, since that we've been exercising on purpose about this. I've walked around barefoot all my life, but all of a sudden, I don't like it. I don't like to do it no more, because it's like I can feel my feet sucking up, you know. So just walking on the floor without my feet covered and not being on purpose about what I'm doing, it's like I promise you, it's like I feel like my feet just sucking to the floor. I don't like the feeling no more unless I'm, doing some work with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I get it. That's beautiful. In preparation for this, I really dug into these practices, and that's what I found when I got in those positions and embracing the tree. When I came out, it's almost like I had suction cups on my feet. That energy connection was very tangible. So again, horse stands, very simple, shoulder width apart, not very wide, but shoulder width apart, and back straight. Point of balance, if I can use that term. I'm not sure who is not familiar with that, but point of balance, just having our body centered and connected in our feet. Okay, so what does that horse stance give us? It talks about rooting. And I'm gonna share my screen again so we can talk about the 9 foot points. Come on, there we go.
Stop it. Stop, don't chew it.
Okay. Bear with me, everyone. Wrong folder. There we go. Okay. So these points that you see on the screen is about our rooting and how we connect to the earth through our feet. So, and it's very simple. 1 through 5 are our toes. 6 is the ball of the foot near the big toe. 7 is the ball of the foot near the your pinky toe. 8 is just under the knife edge. It's the bottom of the foot, but it's under the knife edge of the foot. So that outside strip of the foot. And 9 is the heel. So our goal in the horse stance at this point is connecting all those points comfortably with the earth. So it's not firm. Is when you're in that position, you need to feel your whole foot on the floor. It's about connecting. We're talking about rooting. And in the center of those points, I'll say right between the ball near the big toe and the ball near the pinky toe, right in the middle is the bubbling springs. And that is where we're drawing from the earth. That point is where we're drawing from the earth. So we're going, when we're talking about the horse stance and rooting, we're also talking about body structure. That's another thing I would like someone to speak to. What is the relationship between the structure of the body, energy, spirit, emotions, however you want to put it? Somebody speak to that for me. And if you hadn't realized real quick, this is going to be highly interactive.
We had talked a couple classes about like how they both are interchangeable, like your body structure and your emotions, or like how your emotions are perceived. We talked about how like if you have like a poor posture, it communicates that like there might be something going on, or that you're less confident, or that you're like not emotionally all there. Whereas if you have a stronger posture, like it communicates that that like you're feeling better, you're more confident, and it also like will help you to feel better, to impose the like a better posture because you're in a better position to breathe.
Great, good stuff. Anyone else? I'll just add, oh, is that someone?
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to add, I know with having all 9 points and the bubbling springs in connection with the earth, the bones stacked up of your leg stacked on top of the foot, you know, the joint stacking, you know, having your bones in proper alignment with your knees bent, and while you're in the embracing the tree stance, it puts your bones in proper alignment for the energy from the earth and, you know, from up top in the heaven to, you know, channel through your body through the microcosmic orbit. So with your bones stacked up in proper alignment, it makes for a better path for energy to flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with those 2 things that were mentioned by Aisha and Topher, perfect. Perfect. So proper structure and alignment, because it directly affects your emotions. If I'm like this all day, it's connected with my Qi pressure and my emotion and my energy. But when I increase that Qi pressure, I wanted to add Qi pressure in there on purpose. Now I'm erect and I'm upright and I feel a certain way. And a suggestion in this is, if you're feeling a certain way, if you're not feeling well, increase your Qi pressure, straighten your back and walk like you do, and watch your mood change. Just to highlight that connection between structure, energy, emotions, spirit, and the like. Now, we're talking about going back to the horse stance and our foundation for that. What is that? What does it physically look like? We talked about our feet and our back straight, our knees bent, nice and soft for the energy flow. Obviously not locked, but bent. And the alignment of that is our knees. No, I'm going to say our tibia, which is, you know, like our shin bone, our tibia, and perfect alignment on the ankle, meaning my knee should not be further in than my feet or my ankles. They should be right on top of them. And also my knees should be bent such where they should be right on top of my toes. They shouldn't be bent where they extend beyond my toes. They should be right on top. And again, I like people to stand up, if you would, to get in this position so you can feel that alignment and what that does for your energy.
Amazing.
When you're open like that, it allows that energy to flow, that path to open up. Just like Chris said, Topher said, it allows that path for it to open up, and you get increased rooting because that energy begins to spiral around your legs. You have when you stand that way, and I don't know if my camera will show it, but when I'm standing here and I have that alignment in my legs, I can feel this relationship between where my feet and my ankles are and my knees right above each other. I have increased rooting. I have on shoes. Let me kick off these shoes. My rooting changes. I can feel that spiral energy going clockwise around my shins from my knee down. And that's what we're going for, because my legs are moving that way. They are supported that way if that communicates. You have a question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You point the camera at your leg so I can see.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could do that. Let's see. Let me see if I can flip my screen around.
Also, did you say the knees would be in line with the toes?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a diagram. I think that'll be a little simpler. It'll just take me a second to retrieve one. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna start with that one if everyone can see that. Where the knees are in alignment. The knees are just over the toes. And I'm gonna work on getting a side view picture. Or I should say a front view. This is a side view. Can everyone see that though, that alignment over the toes? And what's key from a front view before we get there is that your knees are, your tibia bone from your knees to your ankle are perfectly vertical. They're stacked on top of each other. So typically I see people in a set position, their knees are closer in together than their ankles are. I'm going to use this picture here.
Glad you made that distinction, instructor, because I have been doing it that way.
Yeah, that's what, for you, that's what the rice practice gives you. That point of balance in that way. You have to be totally underneath yourself. If you have your knees in and your feet further out, it creates pressure out. And if you're on a slippery surface, that pressure will move. It'll slide if you don't have enough friction. Does that communicate?
Yes, sir.
Let me know if it doesn't. We're treading on some different ground here on the Zoom, doing something physical like this. So I want to make sure it communicates. So I want this alignment here perfectly vertical. From the knee to the ankle, perfectly vertical. Again, let me know if that does not communicate. Again, we're building a foundation here. We're starting at the bottom and we're slowly walking it up. We are building this. Today is all about embracing the tree. We talked about our feet. Now we're on our ankle shin alignment and what that means for for our energy flow. From there, when your ankles and shins are in good alignment, that naturally puts your hips into the proper alignment. So I'm going to jump up to the top now to what our arms are doing. So we have our feet, we have our knees to our hips. Now I'm coming up here. Now I have my fingers spread out fully, my thumbs up in the air, my pinky down. So I want space between my fingers, and I'm making a circle, literally like I'm embracing the tree, but I have to, it's a large tree, so I need to stretch my shoulder blades, my scapula around so I can get around that tree. What that's doing is creating a pathway, again, opening up. I don't want tension, but I want elongation. I'm opening up those pathways from C7, which is on my spine. If you touch back here and you have like a large vertebrae here right at your neck and shoulder area, from there, I'm pulling from there all the way around my arms. And there is energy flow there. Another thing I want to mention is, instead of relaxing my hands, if you can see that, I want to have my energy from my thumb moving away from me and my pinky coming towards me. So I want to have that energy, like a twisting energy, moving away. I don't want to turn my hands all the way over. I still want to keep them up with my palms facing me, but I want to have that circular energy moving away. And again, like I mentioned, with my knees to my ankles, with that alignment, having that circular chi flowing, this movement, this circular motion creates that in my arms. So I start getting a connection between my fingers, and I can feel it now, from my middle finger across, from my thumbs and my pinkies. I feel that energy flowing from my right arm into my left. And we're creating a circle here. That's our first circle. Any questions about this? Obviously, if you're not aware, not obviously, but for those who already know, elbows are down. This is a relaxed state. There's no tension here, but I have the energy of circular, and I have the energy of my scapula pulling away, separating themselves from each other, and creating that circle. So it is a structure we're building here, and it's not rigid, but it's firm. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said the scapula are pulling away from
each other.
Okay, so then the chest, would the chest be going in on itself? How is the chest?
Yep. We're creating, again, it's like we're grabbing a tree. So what would a chest do if you're grabbing a tree? It will sink in a little bit to stretch those scapula out. And for me, because I hold tension in my shoulders a little bit, I feel it in my traps up here. I feel that stretch in my traps.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're building on this structure. So now we have that circle there, and that's connecting our hands, arms, scapula all around in that circle. My next circle is a little bit smaller, and it talks about the scapula spine connection. So my circle, boy, how can I say this? My circle is scapula spine still, but this time it's stopping short. It's not going through my whole arms. It's stopping at my elbow and connecting my elbows in an imaginary circle. We are building a structure. So I have arm structure, and now I got scapula spine elbow structure. Does that communicate? The first one is a bigger circle, like I'm grabbing a tree. The next one is about me, about my body structure and what my spine and scapula are doing in relation to each other.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That isn't that clear for me.
Okay. We'll see if we can clarify that a little bit more. Apologize about that. I thought I had a picture of that relationship, so I'm gonna have to go get one. I hate to burn time doing this, but the goal is understanding. Okay, got it. Now, let me share this. Okay, Paul, can you see that? So we have the one big circle embracing the tree. Our second one is that dotted line, which our scapula and our body structure is connecting to our spine now. The first circle is in between the hollow in my hands, from my hands to my chest, in between the imaginary circle I'm making there. Now the second one encompasses the mass of my body around my back, coming to my elbows. That's our second circle.
Okay, I got that. Thank you. That makes sense.
So these are our circles. We are building the structure, building the framework so we can start exercising with. So we talked about feet, shins up to our hips. Now we're talking about what our arms are doing. In that process, our head is always being pulled up. We are elongating our body up in that process. Arms, feet, we're rooted and grounded in our feet. And our head is, for lack of a better term, rooted up. Just like a tree. This is embracing the tree. So we need roots going down and equally branches going up, reaching for that sun, reaching for the sustenance up, and the roots are reaching for that sustenance down in the earth. That's what's going on here, physically and metaphysically.
Now, instructor, when you speak of like where the placement of the arms in relationship to the roots to our feet, how far out should the hands be? Is it stated in the book how far our hands should be away from our bodies?
Nope, just a comfortable distance. You don't want them way out where you overextending your point of balance. You want them comfortably out, elbows bent quite a bit, and elbows pointing down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Peace. And the diagram, it low-key looked like it's a full expression, but just bent in, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's what the picture is illustrating, but it almost looked like somebody's fully expressing like a palm heel. Then you rotate the hands inwards and then bend the at the elbow.
I was thinking.
I'm not sure if that's what it's illustrating though.
I was thinking a wrist.
Yeah, definitely a wrist.
Yes, I like that. That's perfect. Like you doing a wrist. That's a good extension.
A full expression.
Yep. They're just shoulder width apart. It's like at the end of that wrist where it's right at your shoulders.
Good looks, Q.
Yep. That's good.
Right. Nice.
So now what I want to add to that wrist though is I want to add again, we're embracing something round. So our elbows are not straight down. They got a little outward flare in there. And what that outward flare does is stretches our scapula out, our shoulder blades. It moves them out a little bit because we want to make some room. We got to make some room for that energy to flow. Opening up our spine and open up that scapula from C7 and let that energy flow from C7 all the way around. And once we do the second circle and our structure gets in place for that circle, we're connecting that scapula to our spine now. So there's a clear channel up the spine to C7. And now that energy can come from C7 into our arms. So that's where we're going with these circles in this structure, because our next structure is about the circle of the microcosmic orbit now. So that's our third circle, but it's going the other way. So it's connecting these arm chest circles to our spine circle. So we got another circle there. So that's going to connect that energy flowing up now.
So instructor, these circuits that we are that the energy is flowing through, we're building the physical first before we get to the metaphysical microcosmic orbit.
Absolutely.
Understood. Okay, sweet.
Absolutely. We building somewhere, because we talked about the orbit last time. Now we're going to put the orbit into action this time. But we got to have a framework and a structure for that orbit to flow through. We can't have bad posture, which is going to block the flow of that energy.
Understood.
Okay. So we talked about the 3 circles, and now we're going from that third circle is again pretty much the microcosmic orbit, where we're coming from, where we're connected the sacrum all the way up to C7 inside of that connected to our arm circles now. So now we got a full flow up and down the spine and into our hands and back again. And once we connect that, so what is our sacrum doing? We are embracing that tree, and I can't remember who mentioned that. I think it was Topher when he asked what is the chest doing. So the chest, if we're elongating and embracing that tree here, our chest is kind of concave. So what does that do to our sacrum? Our sacrum becomes a little concave as well. Or I'm sorry, the opposite. Sacrum is on the back, so it becomes a little convex because we're embracing. So again, that elongates us from our sacrum all the way up our spine. Remember, our head, our cranium is going up. So what's happening here? We're creating room vertically now for the energy, for the cerebral spinal fluid and all that to flow up and down. And when we get the sacrum involved, it connects to our hips now. Now we're whole and complete. Our structure from our feet, vertical up our shins to our knees, to our sacrum, our hips and our sacrum. Remember, it's convex, and our whole internal of our body has a little bow in it, opening up that spine all the way up to our head. But our arms, same way. Scapula stretching out all the way to our fingers, and our hands have a slight rotation, thumbs away, pinkies towards me.
So when you say it's the sacrum, are you saying the pelvis is slightly forward? When you said it's convex?
Nope, towards the rear. That's why I said the sacrum. Sacrum is in the rear. So the sacrum is convex, but if you look at the pelvis is concave. So our whole internal front of our body has a little bow in it.
Okay. Okay.
Does that communicate to everyone? I want to make sure this is clear. I can't say it enough. We are building on something. We are creating a framework to put something on.
Instructor.
Yes.
Might we offer maybe convex might be throwing some understanding off. The tailbone is essentially pulled toward the earth while the cranium is pulled up toward the heaven.
Absolutely. Yep. If anyone has any other input like that, that's perfect. The goal is understanding. If you can input that, I agree with that. Convex might be a bit much.
Yeah, that's an SAT word.
So we'll say our tailbone is
TI terminology.
We're gonna say our tailbone is tucked in. Okay, I thought someone said something, so we'll keep it moving. Okay. Now that we have a framework and a structure now, adding to that tongue to the roof of the mouth, completing that circuit. Now we can start doing the breathing. Tongue to the roof of the mouth. We're here, we know our microcosmic orbit is the circuit is complete. Now we can actually start the breathing process. So what do we do first? We start with that abdominal breathing.
I have a question, Phil.
Yep, go ahead.
I always had this question about the tongue to the roof of the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you keep that formation like even while you're exhaling? Because like I know for me it feels a little awkward when I try to keep the tongue in my mouth up to the roof as I'm exhaling. I could do it most definitely on the inhale process, but on the exhale I feel a little awkward.
Yep. I've over the years I've read it different ways. This text was not explicit about that. What I do is I keep it there all the time. Inhale, exhale. It took a little bit of practice. I can't, in that process of keeping it there and exhaling, it can't be a, it has to be very controlled and soft exhaling. I mean, that's how I do it. Having that exhale and I can maintain that connection.
May I add something, please?
Absolutely.
With the tongue to the roof of the mouth connection, what I've learned is to use the back of the throat for breathing. Like on the and then it's sort of like a but coming from the back of the throat. I don't know the best way to put it, but it allows me to breathe back out the nose instead of focusing on trying to bypass the tongue out the mouth. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. I like that. That's similar to what I do, because when you don't breathe that way, it puts pressure on the tongue to move it out of the way. So when you breathe back there, it kind of disperses the air a little more.
Yeah.
It kind of diffuses it where it's not very direct to cause pressure on the tongue. So I appreciate that input, Adrian.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're talking about abdominal breathing now. Does anyone need any I guess remediation on that? Do we need to fill in some gaps on that? Is everyone good with abdominal breathing? Please let me know if you are not. Drop it in the chat if you need to, so we can deal with it. If not, I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, we'll keep it moving.
Well, I did have a question. So, I remember last week we spoke about intervals or time periods in our breathing. How many inhales or exhales are we doing in the abdominal before we go to the other breathing forms?
Okay, yeah, I was coming to that, so perfect timing. What I say is, in the book, he says anywhere between 9 and 18. And I say minimum of 9. However, do it till you regulate your breathing. So as a beginner, make sure your breathing is regulated with the abdominal breathing, where your heart is not beating fast. Find that equilibrium with that abdominal breathing before you go on. Even if it takes you 30 breaths. Find that rhythm, find that comfort with that breathing. Okay, now we can jump into the packing breathing. Everybody good with that? The textbook, 9 to 18, but I say find what's comfortable for you. In this breathing process, now that we're embracing the tree and then we have this structure, when I'm doing that abdominal breathing, I'm focusing on the dantian area. That's where my focus is. Again, we building Qi now. And we starting with the abdominal breathing to get everything warmed up. Bam, we moving into packing. Now, again, we inhaling, packing it down, inhaling 10% more. Packing it in, building that Qi pressure, inhaling more, packing it in and inhaling more. And when you can't take it anymore, You might want to exhale a very, very slight amount so you can make room to inhale 10% more. Squeeze it all in. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And at the end of that process, I want you to relax everything in your body. We exhaling nice and slow, nice and easy, and relax all those muscles in your body. We'll keep our form nice and relaxed. Relax all those muscles in our body. And now we have a Qi reservoir built up. So what's the first thing we do with that Qi reservoir? We start pushing it down from our Dantian. We start moving that energy down the back of our legs to earth. So I think Salama mentioned that earlier. We're moving that to earth. And now we're creating that relationship. We're connecting with the earth. We're becoming more rooted. And when we become more rooted and have a relationship to the earth, now we tapping into that earth energy, that abundance, infinite amount of energy that we can pull back up through the bubbling spring, through the front of our legs, through the Dantian, and then we taking it back into our orbit, around our back, coming around our head, coming around the front channel, and we circulating from there. We'll move it back down the rear of our legs, the back of our legs to the earth, pulling it right back up the front, Dantian, around up the spine, coming back down the front, going back down. We're circulating that energy. We get to direct it and put it where we want in that microcosmic orbit. Any questions about that?
You said we was moving the energy down the back of our legs and pulling it up through the front to the spine, and then it go around. So it's like a figure eight.
Okay, yeah, yep, exactly. It's just kind of from the side, because our legs are one way, our torso, the energy flows in a different way. So our Dantian is like the crossroads. From the Dantian, moving it to the rear, going down the rear into the earth, pulling it back up the bubbling springs through the front, coming up, and then cycling from the Dantian around our spine, coming back up, coming back down.
Okay.
It's all about coordinating that breath with the structure of embracing the tree. And now what do we do with that accumulated Qi? When we built out that Qi, it's about moving it now. And what moves the Qi? Somebody help me out. What are we moving the Qi with?
Intention.
Attention.
Yep.
The breath.
Yep. The breath will help us generate it. And the breath can help us move it, but it's about our intention and our focus and our mind. That's what we're moving it with.
Instructor, I had issues when I do the packing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go, I might be holding my breath too long, because when I go to like let out the 5%, all of it just comes out at once.
No, that's okay. It just keep practicing that. Keep practicing that. I wouldn't say let out 5%, but when you kind of hit your limit, let a hair out so you can draw it in strong again and pack some more. It's about creating that pressure. How much pressure can I create in there? And so does that answer your question first?
Yes, practice.
All right.
Can you repeat for me you said something about while you're packing, you take in like 10%, then another 10%. Can you run through those numbers for me again?
Yep. So we're talking about if our lung capacity obviously is 100, so we're pulling in 10% of our lung capacity every breath. And the catch to that is we're doing it more than 10 times. So we want to create that pressure in our body cavity. So with that being said, I'm gonna add a little more in here, Aaron. So bear with me. So now we know we're pulling up our perineum. We're sucking our abs in, pulling pressure from that way. Because again, this packing is reverse breathing. So when I inhale, I pull in my abdomen. My diaphragm, again, I need to relax up here so I can move my diaphragm down, pull all that air in. So I'm creating a lot of pressure here. So when I pull it in, I'm packing it all down and I'm pulling in some more. Packing it all down. Diaphragm is down, perineum is up, abs are in, and I'm pulling in more. And pulling in more, packing it, packing it, packing it. And when I get to a point I can't pull in anymore, I might let a little bit out, like when I'm talking, so I can pull in some more. Packing it all in, make sure you're relaxed up here. I feel myself tensing. And what that does for me, again, it creates pressure in my head. I don't want that. I want to keep that down. Keep it down. And at some point, when I get to a limit, I relax it. And I have that chi built up. And my focus is my dantian. That's where I have that chi. Now I can move that chi where I need to move it. And for this practice here, for right now, we are moving it into our microcosmic orbit. Stopping at those spots. And I'm gonna pull up the seated picture of the seated orbit. So we can look at those channels.
Instructor, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that's spoke to, how do I want to phrase it? Is it lawful to make your initial inhale as full as possible, locking in, pressing down, and then adding to it from there? Or is it specifically prescribed that you need to build the cavity up, 10% at a time?
Yes.
I don't know if that was clear.
Yep, it's specifically talking about building it up. And that, again, my theory is that speaks to the beginner.
Okay.
Finding some comfort with that packing process. You're a packing vet. So if that works for you to pull it in, to kind of shortcut that process, so you don't have to take 30 breaths. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on that? This is about the practice. So right now, what we're doing it, and if no one has questions, let's stand up and let's jump in that process. Want everybody to pack it in, get in that stance. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can see. Okay, I think we're good. Yep. And let's check our alignments. From our feet, think about those 9 points on the feet. Talking about those 9 points, all the toes comfortably on the floor, the ball of the foot. So if we go big toe ball, small toe ball, and right in the middle is the bubbling spring and the heel. For me, in my experience with this, I had an injury on my left ankle. So when I have my feet comfortable on the floor, I don't hit the direct center of the heel of my foot with my left foot. So that took some adjustment for me. I had to find that. So again, I say that to say it's about finding what works for your body structure as it is now. And that's just an old injury from forever ago when I broke my ankle. It's just my alignment is off. So I align it. I put it in place where I need it to be. So with that being said, knees directly above the feet. So our shins are vertical. So that creates this spiral motion. When I move my knees out to put my knees right over my ankle, that gives me this energy, this posture. Just like my arms, when I get that rotation out, I get this energy circling around. And that's a rooting in my feet, because that relationship with the earth, and now my arms do the same thing, because I get a connection here to let that energy flow and pass. My shoulder blades are open. I'm reaching, elbows down. My sacrum is tucked. My chest is tucked and my head is going up. And now I can start breathing. Once I have this, some basic abdominal breathing. And for me, I have to be mindful not to create tension. I want to have my structure so perfect. I mindlessly create tension for myself. So I have to be mindful to relax. Energy flows through that relaxed muscle. My structure is solid, but I'm relaxed. And I can feel those connections. Any commentary while we're in this position? Anyone want to chime in? See how it's going? Any questions?
I'm feeling my feet a lot more suctioned to the ground.
Good.
Is the bubbling spring supposed to be on the ground? Because my bubbling spring not bubbling screaming. I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be in contact with the ground. It sounds like your foot got a little tension from the ball and it's pulling the middle of your foot off. It's almost like you need to relax that foot so it'll sit comfortably on the floor.
I think I'm still finding it challenging to either feel or imagine the spiral from the shins that you're talking about. So I'm not, I know that I had been putting my knees inward. So I've adjusted that, but I'm not sure what I should be feeling. Maybe it's because the adjustment is the proper adjustment for the first time. I don't know.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. Take your time. It's so many moving parts. It's so meticulous and so many details regarding this structure. You might be thinking about what your arms are doing, with your elbows, with your shoulder blades. My head need to be up. My sacrum need to be tucked. I got to have a bow, my chest all the way down is dipped in, and then my feet. So it's a lot of moving parts here. So yeah, be patient with yourself. It's a lot going on. But I just want people to feel that and feel that connection with the earth first. Once that's there and you have your alignment, you can tuck that tailbone in, stretch out those shoulder blades.
Did you also say tuck the chest?
I said tuck the tailbone, but again, like I said, the chest is concave.
Okay.
We're reaching around, we're wrapping around that tree.
Okay, got you.
So once we're there and we got some abdominal breathing going, see what you feel like to do some packing.
Ooh-wee.
All kinds of stuff fire.
I know for me, I had a whole lot going on, a whole lot of energy flow when I relaxed. Coming through my arms, I felt my quads heat up, got real hot, going down, and my connection with the earth was next level. I got suction cups on my feet right now. That grounding. I'm here on this planet right now with my feet connected.
I was definitely about to point out the heat that you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm heating up a lot quicker.
Instructor.
Yes.
Now I hear you say that we should be, there should be no tension, but tucking that sacrum, man, got my buttocks
tight, bro. It definitely once I started packing, like my legs got tight, and everything got tight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Again, it's
Just
a,
make
it's a
sure I ain't tripping.
practice.
Okay.
It's a practice. I was doing the same thing. Like, okay, my chest getting tight. Let me relax that out. This is getting. Go ahead, T.
I mean interrupt. I was reading in the book. Am I this tree? You open the book. I was reading in the book. It said when you fill up your body with air, you should tighten the left side of your anus, and then the left side of your body, and take another 10%. That helped you when I did that, it would help me take another 10% in easier. And then it said after you do that, you tighten your right butt out, and then your right side of your body, you take another 10% in, and that help you wrap around your body. In that, once I did that, it also says you bend forward a little bit, and that lets you take another 10% into your back. So in that, once I did that, and I sat back up, it helps me like relax my whole body. That's when I feel the heat kick in, and I gotta concentrate.
Oh yeah, yep. Because this information is so dense, it's so many minute details, I had to shave off some, or we'd be here 3 more weeks just talking about this. So what T is referring to is he talked about around your anus, there's points. So he's saying there's a left side of your anus, and that corresponds to your left kidney and the adrenals. So you clench there, focus on that point, clenching there, and pull in some air and pack, and that feeds your kidneys and kind of serves your kidneys in there. And I thought that was just a little above our pay grade for what we're dealing with at this point. So I had to omit a lot of that information. Yeah. Because again, it's so much information. It becomes information overload at some point. But that's a good point, that you have the book, you going in and you experimenting and broadening it a little bit. So that's great. Anyone else have any commentary about their experience?
I felt a lot of energy in my hands. My hands are like shaking. It's just, I just felt all this energy connecting like, and so I got this little shivering going on now in my hands.
Oh, that's perfect. Let that energy flow. Let that energy flow. When you're here and they flowing across and you got this connection with your fingers and your palms, the next step is your palms connecting to your pineal. So that energy coming from your palms. So all the energy you got bubbling there, bam, drop it to your pineal.
Okay.
Yep. And you can make that connection there. So again, to what T brought up, is that this is just like information dense. So it's a lot of that, like that point I just mentioned, it has had to be shaved off. There was no room in the official lecture for it.
And on that one, you could do both the reverse breathing or the other one, right?
It's about the reverse breathing is just a prep for packing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we start with the abdominal, and once you understand the reverse breathing, you understand packing. We can kind of omit the reverse breathing, because that's all it is packing, a less intense packing.
Smells bleach. Smells pretty strong in there.
Yeah. So anyone else want to talk about theirs?
I wanted to say one more thing. The Qi flow path that you described for us helped me out a lot when it came down to breathing and directing it.
Okay, nice. Nice, that's perfect.
I also have a question about the Qi path. So from my understanding, or at least what I've been doing, I've been taking it through my nose, third eye, crown, down the back. And then when I get to like the dantian area, the sacral area, I then switch it, move it to the front of my body. So then I go to the front of my knees, then the bubbling springs, and then I bring it back up
through the heels, back of the knees. Then when I get to my hips again, I switch to the front. So kind of like a figure 8 instead of like a circle or orbit. Is that, am I not supposed to be doing it that way?
I'm a believer in find your flow.
Okay.
Find your flow. I'm not a hard line like, oh, it got to be done this way and this is way. But what I would say in that regard, start with what's tried and true.
Start with what's what?
Tried and true. What has worked over the years? I'm gonna say 1,000 years when this was created. This type of understanding was created. So this was the process, and this would work for them. Give it a shot and see how it works. Don't make it dogma. You know, it's still about your body and what works for you, and you know, you have to play with it, experiment, and see what works for you better, what your intuition tells you.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Do what works, in short. Anyone else? So for those who have not commented or not in a position to comment, that's what this day is about. It's about the practice. So I'm hoping everyone had a chance to get in there, get in position, play with that structure, and breathe and get a feeling for it, so we can all learn together. So whatever you experience, you can throw it in the pot and we can deal with it and we can play with it, and maybe it expands and grows all of us. So the more feedback, the better.
So instructor, I'm not feeling that suction that everybody's talking about in the bubbling springs, but I did finally feel using the inverse breathing, how to properly pack.
Got it.
To the Dantian. So that's the first time that it didn't feel like I was straining the diaphragm. It actually worked with me. It didn't go up and not up. I actually was able to push the diaphragm down, imagining like a sandwich, or like, you know, like how they, you know, like a trash compactor or some shit where it's the top and the bottom are squeezing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of that. But I'm still not, I don't know what's going on from like the knee down, where I'm not feeling the shins or the bubbling springs as yet.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. It's a process. So that's good work. You conquered that one, and you got your diaphragm to cooperate, and you know, finally. Yeah, packing. So that's perfect. So we take that victory and work on the next one. It's
yes, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
From like the way you built it, the whole thing, you know, stacking it, that was really useful for me, because it really helped my posture, and like when Q added that part about the wrist, about that was also useful, because then I was able to feel my scapulas really expand when I really push my wrist out, and then getting my elbow, like having them pointing down. And then when you describe the stacking of the circle, you know, with the arms and the elbow, that really helped me stay in the, like, feel, that helped me get really feel that suction, that rooted feeling. Like by following all those, like you said, there's a lot of steps to it, but by following all those things, I was able to really get, like, I didn't feel my arms or shoulders do that tense feel thing where, you know, where I can't, like, after a while, my arms feel like, you know, iron balls, you know, but because I was following your instruction on the stacking, I really was able to just, I was in the stance. So yeah.
Beautiful.
That was my experience. Thank you, instructor.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Anyone else? Because that is all the information I have. What I want to do now is, again, get as much feedback as we can, and then let's go in one more time with some more packing. And again, get this experience, share it. We'll share our experiences, see what we have, see what we can build on, and say, go off and be great.
Peace, instructor.
Peace.
For me, man, it's really been a dope experience to be able to come into an understanding of not only how to really do this practice, but being able to identify the different moving parts. I think that was a good piece that you kind of kept touching on. There's just so many moving parts to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times coming into an understanding of what those moving parts are and what's actually moving, for me, just helped me kind of visualize what I'm doing. You know, the same way where y'all teach us to visualize, you know, what we're striking, to where in a sense it kind of giving me the ability to visualize where the chi is going, where the breath is going, where I'm taking it, and what's happening inside my body. You know, and a lot of the sensations I've been feeling, a lot of it kind of give me a means to express it, even where you was kind of going through the feeling of like how your feet should kind of suction. Like I always kind of felt somewhat of that sensation in doing and practicing the packing breathing and practicing working to bring the air, you know, even when y'all would say kind of bringing the chi and bringing the energy from the earth and through the base. So I always kind of have felt something like that sensation of feeling it. So just in the discussion and in a dialogue, being able to just kind of go into that in depth. And you know, I keep saying it in listening to your classes these past couple of weeks, it just really made me want to start reading the book on breathing. I just been trying to finish the one on the other one, the White Crane one. So thank you, instructor. I definitely got it. Definitely a good piece.
No, thank you. That's perfect.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to be right about that.
And know that the White Crane intertwines and mingles with this so much.
It does.
They speak the same language, and a lot of the information from these lectures come from the White Crane as well.
No doubt.
Peace, instructor.
Peace.
I just wanted to say thank you again for the lectures. These lectures have been very informative with how you said the moving parts and everything. Speak to what Freedom said. That really helped me out. And one of the main parts that helped me out was coming to understand how I should move my chi.
Nice.
I won't necessarily say I feel like I've been doing it wrong this whole time, but my view upon how to move it. Well, once I started moving it the way you described tonight, I felt like I got more back when I was pulling from the heavens and the earth.
Hey, that's beautiful. So you just made me think of something that I neglected to say. Again, in that process, when we after our packing and we're moving that energy, we're pulling from the earth. I forgot the cosmic energy coming through the head. That's still there. That's still a part of this process. So again, I don't want that to be overlooked. And the cycling of that chi. So if no one else has any more commentary, find some space. Let's get it again one more time. We're gonna go through it, and our checkout is gonna be your experience. Okay, assume the position, starting with your feet, stacking up, building on those feet. Nice and comfortable, nice and vertical. Whew. Okay, we're gonna run through the list. And if you if you can't speak, drop it in the chat. And we're gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna start from the top today. Aaron, talk to me. How was your experience? If you're in a position to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm cool. I can do it. So for me, like I said, since I implemented a couple of the changes that you went over on some of the things that I may not have been necessarily doing the correct way, I noticed like as soon as I start packing or even the process of reverse breathing, like my body instantly heats up. So I feel the energy flowing through me, and with my hands, I feel the receiving and the sending of energy through my right hand to my left hand.
Nice.
So that's just something different that I'm feeling.
Perfect. That's good stuff. Good exercise. Keep working on it. Adrian's up next.
Here I am.
Okay.
All right. So, peace, everybody.
Peace.
I had to run and go put my shawl on real fast. Sorry about that. What I actually felt energy when I did it the second time. I turned off the light, and when I did so, I was able to feel like the lengthening of my spine, but I was able to relax into everything. I also felt energy coming through my hands, but also in my head.
Okay.
As I was breathing, and then also somewhat like an aura came to, so to speak, with the once I unpacked it.
Okay, good stuff. Can you talk about energy in your head a little more?
Yes.
I'm gonna get an idea what that means.
So at first the light was on. When I turned the light off and I began to breathe again, I go through this relaxation phase where I relax all the muscles in my face, and I connected my tongue to the roof of my mouth, and I began to breathe. And with each exhale that I had, it was like an energetic release. Like the eyelids relaxed, the air came out, and almost like a tingling as well, but not a nerve type of tingling.
Okay. Got it. I got it. Energetic tingling, huh? I'm guessing. Oh, it's good stuff. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bread.
All right, I'm back. The daughter wanted to do it again. I don't know why. But the second time again, what Adrian just said, the second time I did feel something different. I made some adjustments. I felt that the packing sensation was a lot better the second time. It was very uncomfortable the first time, but the second time it was less uncomfortable than the first. I'm still struggling with the bubbling spring placement, so I got to figure out where I can get comfortable to actually get that suction sensation in the feet. I'm just not getting it in these first two tries, so I definitely will work on that. But I did feel a packing sensation, something I had never heard. I've been hearing it been said, pack. I didn't know what that was, but now I'm gonna work on that because I did feel it tonight.
Okay. My only commentary is don't worry so much about the suction on your feet. What I would like you to have is make sure that contact with the floor is relaxed and it's your whole foot touching the floor as much as you can. That whole foot, all those contact points, all of the toes, the ball of the foot, and the heel. And when you get that bubbling spring should be in contact with the floor as well. But other than that, good work. Chanel.
It was different. Definitely easier to go straight to single-minded meditation for sure, because I'm someone whose thoughts roam a lot. So I found that that was less of an issue as far as swiftness into getting into single-mindedness when doing this practice. But there were challenges, of course, because in my head, I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do this point, and I have to check this point, and I have to check this point. So I know that that gets easier with practice. Definitely felt a lot more comfortable doing the circles, like making the circles than I did initially with embracing the tree. That was a lot more uncomfortable previously. So the circles certainly helped with that.
Nice.
Definitely need to work on my knee placement and breathing and not eating before doing these type of practices because
It's a great point.
Pack it real different. But yeah, so it was good. I need to practice for sure.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Good stuff. We all do. We all need to practice, but great point about having food in your stomach and doing this practice. That had to make it a little uncomfortable. Okay, coming up next, we have Paul.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for a lot of the clarification that you gave today. I'm really eager to put it to practice more. I think that some of the frustrations that I had been feeling or experiencing came from improper practices. And so the clarification, shines a new light, gives me a different purpose and intention going into this practice. And then obviously I'm looking forward to doing this while moving. So that's the ultimate goal for me, but I'm going to work on employing this, in my daily meditation and gain mastery over it so that I can employ it in movement. But I'm grateful for a lot of the clarification. It was definitely needed. And I feel the difference in that second practice for sure. Still no suction, but even in the speed and ease by which I was able to feel the Dantian engaged with actual energy and not just something physical. So that was a dope second round.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah. And again, I don't want people to get thrown off by suction. That's just a word I use to describe how my feet feel on the floor afterwards. That grounding feeling, like I have a connection with the earth.
Got you. Yeah, people were saying they feel the bubbling springs like suction cups, and I definitely my as Brad would say, my Spider-Man ain't Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah. No, I personally didn't mean it that way. I just talked about how my feet feel on the floor. I have a stronger connection with the earth afterwards.
Okay, I could feel that for sure. I definitely felt more rooted than I had been.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, who we got next? Emerson.
Yep. The second time felt much better. I felt like I was really able to tap into the feeling more when I just used my other senses, or when I was able to, I put my focus on my ears more. And that's when I really started feeling the tingling throughout my body. And I was able to feel like a lot more around me. But I did feel rooted as well. So I'm sure that helped, because usually I shake, like Instructor Vaughn told us, when our legs are shaking, we in that position, that means we need to work more on our lower 3 chakras. So putting more focus on that through the weeks has been helpful. And I wasn't able to shake as much. So it was overall good.
Yeah, that's good. Another part of that is when your body structure is like that and those channels are open, that energy flows through and you don't get that shaking. That shaking comes from blockages.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's That's good stuff. Improvement is always, a testament to the practice.
Instructor, may I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Emerson, you say you put your focus on your ears, brother?
Yeah, because a lot of times when I close my eyes, the eyelids would be too, like I shut them real tight. So when I focus on my ears, the pressure from my eyelids become a little bit less, and I'm able to just let that energy flow through me.
Very interesting. Okay.
Again, a testament to he practicing, he experimenting, he finding out what works for him. So that's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Know thyself.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, Hero.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for class tonight. It was very good as usual. My feet are still tingling actually. And they have been since we did it the first time. The second time I got a lot of energy flow around everywhere. It was like after the packing and that release, it was like I could definitely feel like the energy flowing up and around, and the heat. My feet, I feel a lot of I was kind of similar with Brother Paul, like not necessarily suction, but it's a lot of energy going on the bottom of my feet. It feels cool all around the rim. And it's just really, it's still very energetic in that area. So, I definitely, the adjustment to posture helped out a lot. It also is like, I can stay there all day. That's one of that posture. It really locks in. And I feel like no tension in my thighs or anything. So the only tension areas were, prolonged out here. But even that, with the tighter adjustment to the legs, I think it helped with that as well. And just with the flow of energy going around, I could really feel a lot of energy moving. So thank you very much. It's been working.
Good working. For your arms, so they're not so tired. When you pull your scapula apart more and stretch them out, it take that weight out of your arms. So it's almost like your body is carrying the weight of your arms and not your shoulders. That your shoulders are fatigued. But when you elongate those scapula and get those shoulder blades out, it take the pressure off there. Your body is carrying in that weight. That's what someone just mentioned. Like you said, I could sit here all day now. I could sit here all day.
Okay.
And it just opens up. So immediately stretching out those scapula, man, my fingers start tingling immediately. I'll let that energy flow. It's popping. Again, but to everyone's point, find out what works for you. Know thyself.
All right. Well, thanks again, instructor.
Yep. Thank you. Aaron with an E.
Well, that second time, I was able to direct the energy up here. Like my hands are still shaking. My insides just feel energized right now. And I'm like breathing to calm it down. I put my tongue in the back, like Asia was saying, and was breathing, exhaling through the back of my throat, like. So that felt good. For you?
Okay.
It felt good, but now like I feel some sort of pressure up here. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong or not, but I do feel some pressure up here.
It's working. It's working.
And I just feel energized, like.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you so much.
No, good work. Good work. So to your point, the goal is to work this practice so that it's automatic. When you jump here, boom, that energy is popping. It knows right where to go because you practice that channel so much, it knows right where to go.
But how are you? Is it like in the, I don't know how to really get the words out, but when you directing the breath, where you taking it around and down, is that like, I guess I just don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of almost like if I'm doing it, I feel like, I don't know, my mind is kind of directing the breath down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not clear. I'm not clear.
Don't know how to explain it then. I'm gonna have to watch Aku in the flesh.
Okay. I'm sure
But thank you so much for the class.
We'll get you together. Yep, thank you. Keela.
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Peace, everybody. Sorry, my voice raspy. I've been talking all day. But it was interesting. I haven't done anything like this in a while, like a little over a month or two, maybe at this point. But it felt good because I sit down a lot throughout the day anyways. So actually getting up and like I meditated this morning, but sitting down. So it's been so long since I've stood up and just tried to meditate or even focus on my own breath. And I'm not gonna lie. What do you say about the keeping the Dentier tight, that area, the perineum and everything closed down there?
Yeah.
That was something that I was trying to focus on because when I don't know, it felt like I was able to relax everything, but once I like stood up and I came out of everything, like I burped, I farted, like everything was just like, no, it's been a while.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. You creating pressure. You getting stuff moving in there. Something's going on inside. That pressure is happening. So no, that's perfect.
But I did like how you broke down the stacking. Like seriously, like what I was supposed to be focusing on, even like the 2 circles or the 3 circles. Like because I had been watching the videos from the past couple of weeks. So I was familiar with the reverse breathing, the intro to the Iron Shirt, Qi Gong, and even last week's video. I can't remember right now, but I was watching that as well, studying, taking notes. So I felt a little bit more prepared in breathing today with you guys. But putting it to actual practice, I have to come tomorrow. I have to.
Hey, I hope you make it. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Glad to have you in the space.
Thank you.
Yep. Kenyatta.
Brother, we must be brothers, man, because I just knew you was gonna call me. I just knew it. We must be brothers, man. We must be. Okay. Peace instructor, peace family. Great class as usual. It's interesting, man. Like all of this time, when we've been like circulating through the Qi path, literally this must be like probably year 3 or something. I've always started, I always pick my own point. So I always started with my breath and went to the third eye, to the crown chakra, and started working my way back down the spine and circulating that way, and then going, all the way back down, hitting the bubbling springs, coming back up to the knees, the sacrum, the belly, or was it the sperm channel, or the belly button, the solar plex, and through the throat into the mouth, and restart that process over again. That's been like my pattern for like 3 years, and today was the first day I broke that. It's like, no, start from the earth and start to pull from the earth, pull it all the way in. And not that I haven't been pulling from the earth, but not like that. And so so that was interesting to kind of to go in that. But I really saw the circulation more powerful in that way, like beginning from the earth through the bubbling springs, working your way all the way up through, all the way back up to the crown, all the way back down, to the bubbling spring, creating that circulation of energy from there. That was revolutionary for me. I was like, whoa, I was like, okay. And then of course, putting the intention on packing, man, my calves was burning. I felt like I want to know if I want to know if the symbolic, how they used the little red devil and how like the red devil got the little horns, the little horns and whatnot. Well, I really consider, I don't buy into that, but I really consider myself to be divine. But my head was tingling, as if I had horns or something, my head was on fire, man, and I was just like, man, and so, but really all of that came from packing that energy, packing more. I must admit that I don't know what to do once I'm out of breath. Once I've packed to the point that I can't pack anymore, I don't know what to do after I pack it. I don't know how to release. I've heard you say release just a little bit and then pack more, so that's just a practice that I'm gonna have to develop and find, find my way in. And so from henceforth, that is where I will be putting my intention when I am in tree and in standing meditation. And so, but beautiful practice, man. I appreciate the whole, because man, my shoulder blades was burning and I didn't know that I had a choice. I mean, I didn't know that I could bring it in further, and that's okay. I thought I had to be fully extended, like fully extended. I didn't know that I could bring it in and find that, like I thought energy was just locked up all up in my joint. I was just locked up. I was just energy locked up. I was energy prison. So this, help you teaching us that is something that I will also discover self into. I can't wait to discover more in that and find out what's in that for me. So once again, great class. Appreciate your instruction.
I appreciate you, brother. And that's again, it's about putting that work in. That's what's going. That's how you get the dividends.
Indeed.
Kimmy.
She said she was going to be quiet, instructor.
Okay. What about Kemet?
Greetings.
Peace.
Peace. So what I got from today, thank you for your instruction. Since Friday, I've been embracing the tree. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I did 30 minutes in the sun, and it was real nice and sweet. It reminded me of a forward practice in the way that how much I was sweating. So I was grateful of that. On Sunday, I kicked it up to 40 because I felt a little distracted. Maybe it was people coming in and out or something. But that extra 10 minutes really did something to me. And what I noticed in the instruction that you gave today was keeping my fingers separated. I found myself, especially with that thumb, when I hurt my thumb on the floor maybe a week or so ago, it would feel a lot of tension, like when my fingers close, and I was always having to like monitor it because like the thumb still hurt. Another thing I noted is that when I would be holding the pose, a lot of times I feel like my feet just start drifting, and I noticed that maybe with my bottom tucked in, I see that to help me not drift as much. And I like the imagery of you saying that your knees should be over your toes. And I saw that to be able to reorganize, like, you know, the longer that you in it, like how you just keep all of those points on the foot and just remain as still as you can. And for Monday, I did it while I was in the dojo space. And I was just grateful that you made us get up and do it when you told us to today, because I still feel like I'm being consistent that, you know, since Friday, I know I've been consistent at least some moments and doing it. But as far as when you told us to do it, it just reminded me that no matter how long you're in it, you know, it's real dependable in the sense that it helps initiate and activate heat and energy flowing, and, you know, you start feeling it in whatever muscles. And, you know, I just appreciated you making me get up and engage that, or all of us, because I felt like maybe my stomach was a little bothering me. And I found myself doing it while people were sharing as well, and just in how it changed my mood, you know, or at least it helped me not have to feel that whatever I was feeling, you know, in my gut, because I got up and I did it. So thank you for you know, making it active for us. That's been a nice difference in your lectures and your classes. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate the more mindfulness towards it, because it helps me be even more responsible with my value for it. I can't say that I value that posture. Like it's real serving. And I see it to be a great go-to. Like just see myself carrying that with me for the rest of my life. Like, you know, I love this pose. I've been in it in a lot of different spaces. It's also different. Like when you're the only person in the room holding the pose and everybody else is moving about, and it challenges me to dive into concentration, you know, in a deeper way. And also I appreciated what you said today about the abdominal breathing. Maybe I was kind of overriding that one, but I like how you said to start with that. I noticed that it'd be hard for me, or I find a deeper challenge when I'm not intentional about my breathing and I'm just on autopilot, how I need to focus more on that one so I can have a better autopilot breathing throughout my everyday waking meditation. And I didn't really know that the reverse breathing, you know, I appreciate what you said about that too, because I kind of thought it was different, but I would always find myself kind of just mixing it with the packing, you know, because I didn't, you know, so just thank you for the instruction and the extra reinforcement of all of this in our now.
All right, we appreciate you putting in the work.
I say.
We all grow. Ashe. LaKenya.
Sis posted some comments, but I'm not sure if she can speak.
Okay. Yeah, but I was just reading those. She said, for me, this was the first time that my breathing was done correctly. I felt more comfortable when correcting my knees over my ankles. My balance was absolute. However, I do have to be mindful of the tension in my shoulders during the process. Class was amazing. Thank you, instructors. I love you, family. So we love you too, Kenya. Appreciate the time and the feedback. That's good stuff. Lovely.
Brother Gilbert said that she had to step away.
Okay.
You on mute. You on mute, Gilbert.
I was getting the kids together. Peace, family.
Peace.
Okay, so my experience. So when everybody first started getting up and meditating at what, 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning, yes? And during that time, I was embracing the tree and I could feel the energy jump from one hand to the other. Things seemed like, okay, with eyes being closed, though, it seems like everything was illuminated. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense at all, but it does to me. But then going through class today, right, readjusting, pushing your sacrum down, tilting it forward and everything like that, man, I felt like what I did before was absolutely wrong, but I felt more then than I did today. But what I felt today was the tops of my feet. I could feel like a surge of energy going up the top of them, and it felt really strong to the point where it was heat censored.
Okay.
Okay. And I could feel it in my arms and in my hands. But then again, with all of the readjustments and relearning the application, it was like, just throw away whatever it was that you felt a month or so ago and try all over again. So, here we are. But, keep working. And then I visualized like a little small ball of light going in that infinity around, pulling it up through, going back around and stuff. So that figure 8, that's how I try to gauge that energy with intention.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Keep putting in that work. And I think that's a part of it. You had a flow going, so that energy is flowing. So now when we added all this other information, now, it's a mental process now.
Yeah, because I promise you, it felt like from tilting the behind and squeezing the abs, it felt like I was giving my own self a headache. Like, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Lyndon. We'll keep moving if Lyndon can't speak. Minister Freedom. Oh, hold that thought for 1 second. Linda said, I've been listening to this lecture. I learned more about breathing technique, holding the tongue to the roof of the mouth. I would like to come back and fully immerse myself in class, just hearing everything from everyone. Said, kids are asleep right now. Sorry. Hey, no worries. Hold it down. So, Minister Freedom.
Peace, instructor.
Peace.
The second time I'm going through, man, was really dope. I've been appreciating getting some meditative practice, especially I ain't gonna say a lot of times, but a good number of times, especially recently, I've been messing my sleep schedule up and having me getting up completely right on time with the rest of the brothers and sisters right early in the morning. But it's been, like I said earlier, it's really always good and beautiful to learn new parts and new elevations of this science, being able to identify, more and more. That one thing I was working on and being intentional about was working to be in tune as far as to what I was doing with that energy and striving to be conscious of the chi, my own chi path, and just what worked for me. It was one thing that you said that really stuck out to me, just about how you've had injuries with your ankles in the past and just had to find the comfortable space for your own self, and that's something that really resonated with me, man, because I've injured both my ankles, in basketball and football. I'm really flat-footed. So I struggle with that, even in the physical space. So that's something that I was working on and being intentional about, just kind of finding that sweet spot in my own foot where my feet is completely flush on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's not moving, you know, and that I think in a lot of ways that reflects even to the physical practice. I think you might have said something to me like that in the physical space. We was doing floor practice just in keeping my feet on the ground. My other foot, that's my base. So I was just kind of using this app as a extension of that and really finding that spot, that place in my feet and the alignment of my own body that's comfortable. You know, of course, I know stress and a little bit of pain is to be expected with just in growth and development of the base and development of the body, just holding the posture itself, but just, you know, like I said, just managing that energy flow. But I do feel the kind of the release, which is always a relief, because then I know it lets me know in some way I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I could feel that tingle at the end of my fingers. I could feel that release of pressure off the stress that I feel in my back from standing up. I get a brief relief from my calves and my feet hurting a little bit from just maintaining the posture. So I'm definitely working it, man, to really find that sweet spot where I'm just completely comfortable and can go at no limit of time. So I thank you again, instructors. Definitely. All the classes, man, it's just really been really peace. It's really something dope to look forward to. I thank you, man.
Oh, no, I appreciate you. Again, putting in the work. You increase us all. Oh, see your hand raised. Kimmy, you have something? So maybe not. Okay, we'll keep it moving. Rada, not sure if you can speak.
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for bringing this exercise off the page. This is the reverse breathing, that I've actually allowed to intimidate me for years, and it was just really something to grasp when you brought it forth. So thank you for that. Tonight, the exercise, I felt, and I still feel like a tingling in my feet, which I didn't feel before, and my lower legs. But initially, it was like a sinking feeling, like I was journeying to the center of the earth, and lots of tingling. But the tingling then wasn't physical, or it didn't feel like I could feel it in my body. It was more like just off the surface of my body while I was in it the first time. And I'm still working on synchronizing the reverse breath with, you know, the movement of the Qi and working with the perineum. So just getting all those parts, moving them all together. So definitely continuing to bring that into effect, but really just appreciating the space to work it out together, you know, so that's what's up. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you putting in the work. Randy.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Great class. Thank you, Instructor Cedric. Learned a lot about myself tonight. We've been embracing the tree for a while. And I continuously had the same problems. I'm never flat on my feet. I guess my pressure is more so on the outer edges, even though I feel like I'm flat foot, and that becomes a problem in class when it comes to my weight distribution and my balance, that I know. Where I benefited tonight from the second go round is me rooting myself with intention. I believe learning the reverse breathing, especially with the packing, holding the perineum and rounding my scapula gives me a release of pressure from my back, but it also, I can tell the difference in my feet. I don't know if it's because we just did it for a short amount of time, but I really benefited from it more. So I look forward to taking my time, and maybe I need to move in shorter segments instead of me just trying to embrace the tree for the entire 15 minutes in the morning. Because what I'm finding is the pressure in my back, because it's not tucked, that I lose it. I build up all this pressure and then I lose it before it gets to my feet. Even when it comes down to my kicks, I'm losing the pressure. So holding the perineum definitely makes me focus on my breathing and also keeping my scapula around it. And that has a lot to do with my feet. So I learned that, and it felt a lot better doing it the correct way. Mind you, that's something that you all have been telling us from the beginning, that my butt was always supposed to be tucked. So I know that's something that I go in and out of in class, but working on the exercise tonight with the family, just those moments, I actually had a chance to relax and do it the correct way. Also, I do have the book now. So going over the diagrams in the book and the diagrams that you give us through the presentation gives me a visual on how the body should be positioned. So even though I feel I'm doing it one way, just looking at it and just correcting it and just perfecting it and just continuing it. And I appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate you. All right. Salama.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This great lecture again. Thank you for taking the time and energy to prepare this for us. There's so many moving pieces. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everyone's share too of their experience. For me, it really was what really stuck with me was the stacking. I mean, everything stuck with me, but the stacking really, I guess, because that whole thing about standing there, and then like I think everybody or a few other people expressed how the shoulders, we're feeling tired, and it's true. It's like right there. That's exactly where it feels like your shoulders. Literally, your arms are gonna fall from your bodice, and so when you described like that, the scapula, like that, all that loosened it up. And so I said it before, but that just for me, it just made it a whole new thing. And then so when we did it this second time and we had all of the properties in place that you had given us, it was even it was even better for me. I felt like when I came out after doing the packing of the breath, I had like my entire body just felt light, like light body, like I felt almost zero gravity, like I was about to float up off the ground. When you ever do that thing where I don't know if anyone's ever done that thing where you put your hands between two doorways and you push.
Yes.
And you hold and then you let go, and then everything, like it was almost like that. It was like that. So it was really good. It was interesting. I'm going to keep working on it. I appreciate it. I've been doing the meditation daily, and I actually, after we stopped the whole week thing, I went into just doing lotus. I think after a week and a half, like after that, I just started doing only lotus because of that. So now I'm going to try it again. A lot of words, but yeah.
Great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it greatly.
For sure. We appreciate you. Terrence.
Peace, instructor.
Peace.
Tonight was very informative for me, especially with the part about directing the chi. That still stuck with me now. I feel like ever since I started directing it the way you described it, it ain't stopped going that way. I like the feeling. I feel real connected doing the packing breathing. As of lately, ever since I was in quarantine, I felt I felt like I started doing packing breathing more frequently. And through that, I find a real calm in that. Everything, it's like everything around me go quiet, except for, and all I hear is what's inside. And I feel the energy flow more. I feel it flow more potent. So that was real. That's real. That's stuck with me. I appreciate the classes and the knowledge. I can't wait to see what's on the road ahead.
All right, beautiful, man. We appreciate you, man. Again, like I'm saying, putting in the work, make a difference. Okay, Topher, what you got for us?
Peace, instructor.
Peace.
I had to step out and get dinner ready for the family, so I did miss a bit of it. I missed the part about directing the Qi, but I was able to get in the second stance though. What you mentioned before, it is a lot of information. It's very dense. So like in there, it was taking a minute for everything to process. You know, I was noticing there's a lot when it comes to the posture, when it comes to, you know, the breathing, when it comes to the and even like focusing on the different points. But it's about, you know, staying consistent with it, and so that it all becomes automatic, you know. And while I was doing it, you know, after you guys mentioned it's like the body's whole supporting the arms, you know, I did it again, and with that in mind, you know, and I did feel the weight come off of them, and I felt like they were getting to like a rotation that they kind of needed to get into, that they've been missing out on.
Okay.
I think overall I was feeling like different, like sore spots in my body, you know, in certain areas I wasn't, you know, aware of, you know. I wasn't feeling a lot of a sensation in my hands or head, but before there I would feel like a tightness in like a joint before there, like my neck or in my arm. And, you know, that just shows me, all right, I got a block in this area that needs some attention. So, but it was good. It was good focus overall. And with the morning meditations, this is definitely something that's going to help out with that. And that's something that morning meditations are going to help me to achieve, you know, being able to feel all the feel the energy flowing through the different channels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a practice. This is not you know, again, just information for information's sake. You know, it's about taking that information and putting it to work. And
making it real.
Yep, absolutely. Making it serve you. Empowerment. That's what we're about. Okay, Instructor Nate, what do you have for us? Is he still on the line? Yep.
Good to see you all. Missed you all last week.
Oh yeah, we missed you. You were out on the mountains, I see, huh?
Yeah, I was at the Snowcat Jamboree. It was awesome.
Okay. Sounds serious.
Well, it is if you make it serious. I had a lot of fun. It was powerful, honestly.
Okay, great.
All right, well, let's see my experience. Like, oh my God. I have to admit, this has been like a level up for me. This is wild. I couldn't quite figure out what I was feeling at first. I mean, I've been feeling a lot of what everybody else is feeling, like the fire, the suction. I've had a little bit of shaking, but like, I honestly feel like I was enveloped in a field of electricity, and it turned into an electrical fire, and I'm like still on fire. It's kind of crazy. And then also, like, I noticed with the circulatory movement that we do with the packing, like that energy builds up to such a level. And I heard some people talking about the pressure in the crown chakra. And me, myself, personally, I have found there are 7 different points in the crown chakra, 6 on the outside, and then the 7th is in the center, which represents the crown chakra. And all the chakras run up through that crown chakra. So you can literally release that energy right back into the universe, like release that chi, and then you'll find another, like a tank, if you will, or empty your tank so you can continue to build up that pressure and like continue to level up further and further and further. I don't know if that helps, but also like that tingling sensation, that is that electrical current. and that can actually like reactivate parts of your body or even turn on parts of your mind that were never active before. And I noticed a lot of healing energy. Like I have a injury in my heel and I've fractured my spine before, but like I felt that's part of my body like getting illuminated with light, and the energy actually released from that point and it started to flow like it never has before. So like there's a healing aspect inside of this as well. So this has been very beautiful. It's been wild. And I've heard some people talking about like, you know, the moment standing still. I had an experience with the Snowcat Jamboree where I was meditating in a snowcat just before starting to snowboard. And actually I took that meditation into snowboarding. And there were moments when I was moving like 60 miles an hour, like so fast that the wind was just like pushing teardrops out of my eyes. But I felt like I was perfectly still, like nothing was moving around me and the wind was like howling because I was moving through it so fast, but I didn't hear a thing. Everything was complete, perfect peace. Yeah, I've never felt anything like that before. Like, honestly, like getting up in the morning and meditating with you all has been absolutely amazing. And I've been learning so much about meditation and myself. It's been wild. And that man, know thyself, like that's actually an ancient Egyptian proverb that goes, man, or the gods dwell within. Man, know thyself, and you will know the gods.
Hey, that's great stuff, Nate. All good stuff. We appreciate you for adding on. We all increase.
Leveling up every day, brother.
Absolutely.
And thank you all for letting me be a part of this experience.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Instructor Aku, what do you have for us?
Brother, number one, instructor, thank you for an awesome series, man. You did your thing, bro, in a major way. It's what you do. Captain level up. You keep it real straight and succinct and powerful. As relates to the experience, I have been striving to embrace the tree 5 days. Well, the only 2 days of meditation that I stay in the lotus are the root and sacral. So when I get in on the other 5 days, I take, you know, at this point, I'm up to maybe 18 minutes embracing the tree. But the level up with the packing exercise, man, you just keep turning the knobs on me, brother. And so that has become a challenge, a good challenge, obviously, but feeling power, man. You know, today you added another focal point, which is to be on purpose about, and even Instructor Nate just dropped a gem with the 7 points in the crown. So that's a whole new aspect to add to the sandwich. But I have been connected to the earth energy. I've been feeling power in the legs. But now to add the consciousness of pulling the celestial energy down is coming into the fray. Lots of power developing around the Qi belt, beginning to expand, you know, more widely out the back and up the back. So that's been coming into play. I get just a couple cycles of being able to feel the energy coming through the bubbling spring and all the way up to the crown, but I have not figured out what nuances or what subtleties allow that to happen. So that's something I'm toiling in. And beyond that, the same thing that was, you know, expressed. So I can pack for a while, you know, a short while, but when I get to the max capacity and then begin to let that, 5% out, you say, I can get a few 5% out and pack it back in, but I mess up and then it's like Kenyatta said, it's like the balloon, baby, and it's all like shh. And once that balloon lets the air out, then I feel this rush and the crown just is, thumping like that. And then this morning, after I went through the regular cycle, I did some vigorous exercise and then purpose to pack again with the heart like. And what was interesting is that although it was very, very challenging, once I took possession of it and I packed it back down, everything got quiet. Like the heart is hard to describe. It's like that energy of the pumping heart that's going out. I was able to drive it down and I could get the heart obviously didn't stop pumping, but that bang stopped. It was like it insulated and then even the sound went away. But I could only hold it for just a few seconds and then I had to let it out. But I was on purpose about it really concentrating energy, not only in the Dante end, but I'm knowing that heart is pumping inside. I was being on purpose about it packing energy into the fascia and throughout the organs. So definitely inspired, definitely so much more work to do. And just when a person thinks that meditation is boring and a static exercise, these types of courtships with power let you know how dynamic, meditation is, but continues to bring consciousness to how dynamic we are as human beings, as representatives of children of the Most High God here on planet Earth. And it's so much work to do as we spiral upward, man. So thank you for a powerful series, instructor. And this is, I believe somebody else said, a couple other people just spoke to how long, you can eat off this for the rest of your life. So much appreciation, brother. Thank you.
No, we appreciate you, and you are exactly right. This is a lot of morsels in this meal, for sure. Instructor Keith.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, definitely sad to see this series come to an end because it definitely was very, very rich. The main thing that comes to mind though is with this, just the importance of having, a knowledgeable teacher or instructor to guide you through. And I had shared it before, but I'm not sure if I shared it with everybody. But I was studying one day, and one of the audios that I was listening to basically said, like, the importance of having a teacher. And then he said, you can have all of the parts to a Bentley, but do you actually have a Bentley? And it's like, well, no, because you got to put it together. And I think that's what you did in this series, is you took those parts and you put them together very nicely, packaged them up, and got us all rolling. So it's just the small details, because everybody, we all embrace the tree, obviously, but just all of the details and the nuances that were covered in this whole series was definitely that which took the collective to the next level as far as this information goes. And so thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you as well, brother, for sure. Okay, we got Dr. Glass. Come on, close us out.
Oh man, let's see. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Man, I in listening and taking in the series like over time, how thorough you have been has allowed all of us to learn this again for the first time. And that's powerful because, you know, at one time you think you got it, and then you drop something else, and it's like, damn, I thought I had that. And you come to realize that, no, you didn't have it. And it's about this, and what makes it so interesting and so compelling is that you are, in this series, you have caused us to take this deep dive within self, because you kept saying, and you said it through each one, you said you have to personalize this. You have to personalize it and make it fit for you. We won't necessarily feel the same thing that each other feel. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was more just like, to Paul's point, he was like, well, I don't feel the suction cups. My feet not sucking the ground. Well, okay. My feet wasn't sucking the ground either, but I could feel the rooting and the sensation there. And then that's when he was like, oh yeah, I definitely felt that. So we shouldn't look into your points, and you kept saying it, instructor, you kept saying it, you was like, make it fit for you. This is about knowing who you are. This is about knowing how you move energy through your vehicle, you know, which I think it's just so powerful. And how each of us had a different experience sensationally, but we felt the same thing. We felt energy. You know what I'm saying? So we were all connected in that one feeling of energy and feeling it surge through each of us. So man, I just like Instructor Aku said, man, you did your thing, man. Appreciate you, brother. You did your thing, man. Appreciate you, man. Love you.
All right,
and love all of you guys for man, bringing the best part out of all of us. So we all ate, we all grew from this. And just like you said, it's just so much. There's so much that you had to take things out, you know what I'm saying? Just in going through this, you had to take things out because you could have actually went another couple of months.
Easy.
Easy with this.
Brother, yeah.
You could have went about 2-3 more months.
Where I stopped still is not halfway through the book.
Yeah. You know, but you condensed it for us, man. And just like people who haven't read the book, making them want to get down into this book and actually read it, which is invaluable in and of itself, man. So thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everybody on here for riding the ride of this series, the Iron Shirt series with me. And hey, I can't do it without all of you. It's that energy that I get, because my notes say one thing and where we go is something totally different every time.
Yeah.
You know, because it's so much information in there. I took in so much information, condensed it for the notes, and it always explodes way more. And I call myself even shorten it today, like, okay, we're gonna get out of here at 10 o'clock today. You see, hey, we knocking on 10:30. So no, it's a beautiful ride. I appreciate everybody, love everybody, and I can't wait to see what we get next week.
Man, I can't cover that off you, brother.
We don't call you Dr. Glass for no reason, brother. We're gonna see.
Right.
Peace, y'all.
Oh, instructor said, Sister
Hey,
Teresa
Amir.
said she didn't go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa.
Oh, my man.
I'm sorry. I sure that I had your name here, and I mixed you and Terrence up. I'm sorry about that. So Teresa, please bless us. I apologize.
I don't have nothing to say now. Everything been said.
Hey, you would bless us with your experience. See what you got, so we can make everybody's experience that much better.
Well, I'm still in the growth stages. The two experiences tonight that really helped me to see some of the things that I didn't catch before, that I wasn't doing alignment of my body in certain ways. I noticed that I have a lot of I guess tightness in my shoulders in the back. So when you I guess you say when you stretch the scapula, that's when I can feel when I do the my circular part with my hands, and I can feel that, and I have to do like that to release the tension. And I haven't felt the energy inside yet, but I felt a little bit today. But that's about it. There's a lot in this book. And it's good to know that I don't have to know every single part. I do remember seeing a portion where he's saying that you have to close off every hole, like your ears, your nose, your mouth, your anus. And I was like, okay, I'm doing all that, focusing on all that different stuff. And but yes, I appreciate the breakdown of everything, seeing it, being able to interact and practice it. That helped a lot.
No, that's good stuff. And it's like you said, it's so much information in there. You can't focus on 30 things at one time. Like you said, keeping your energy from leaking out your eyes and your ears and, perineum and all that, and all this posture stuff and all this. So that's why it's just like, hey, for right now, just focus on your feet, and then move it up to your legs, and then put some arms in the mix and start adding on pieces, one by one. So it's not overwhelming. It's a lot to bring into this. And there's a ton that I didn't even mention.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So we appreciate you, Teresa, always, putting in the work. I've been saying it all night. It's about putting in the work.
I should see y'all Saturday.
Oh, we get blessed. That's a beautiful thing.
And that sounds like sis coming to clean up.
Right.
So I'm gonna see y'all on Saturday.
Yeah.
Put your ass on Saturday.
Yeah.
Who was talking? Who was that talking to? Somebody was talking trash. She en route, baby.
Yeah.
She said she will pull up. Plane's working from Texas. I'm gonna pull up on y'all.
Okay.
With that being said, family, we appreciate everybody, and we're gonna close it out.
All right.
Peace and love, fam.
Peace.
All right,
nephew. Peace.
All
right,
Amir.
Peace and love.
Thank you.
It's easy.
Peace.
Rest easy.